tonight's meditation just with a contemplation on the experiences that you have throughout the day. Not just any experience per se, but rather the consistent ones, so the ones which keep occurring. And from the ones that keep occurring, is it possible to categorize into that which is conducive for the development of your steadiness of mind and meditation, and that which is not. Your eyes can be open or closed, and just simply watch your thoughts as they manifest a storyline for you, or as they do not manifest a storyline for you. And it is like that. It's either an experience or just arresting into an experience of nothingness. Both are relevant within the contemplation. And as we become increasingly more settled, can you begin to produce a sensation within the body that consciously relates to the exploration of this contemplation in such a way that can encapsulate both that which is conducive for your meditative experience and peace of mind, and that which also includes the sensations which pull you away from this meditative equanimity of your mind. So we want to produce an experience of the body that is able to see both in a neutral light. So not positive, negative, good or bad, just simply is. Understanding that we are consciously connecting to this quality of space found within the body, inspired and supported by the rhythms of your breath, and enjoyed as a state, an experience of your mind. From this neutral perspective, we're able to more easily discern the direction that we wish to go, and more readily let go of that which is no longer needed. Observing as closely as we can to the decisions which we're making from the inside. In the sensory experience, this shift within our awareness, even our mental state, as we are making these conscious decisions as to what to bring inspiration of the breath towards and what is now no longer needed. What can we just simply let go of? We want to become so clear in our understanding of how this space feels that we're promoting, that is optimal for our overall success within life. That it becomes passive, this letting go, second nature, this letting go, to the point where the quality of space which you have connected to is unpenetrable. There's no way that of distraction or that of negative thought can enter. And now let's use the strength of this contemplation and any insight which we came to and apply it to a deepening meditation through the avenue of comfort and relaxation. How comfortable and ultimately relaxed can you become through the neutral space which you have decided? We simply apply and reapply this comfort and relaxation as a formal step and stage to your practice of meditation. Become aware of the attention that your breathing brings to your meditation. Accepting all for what it is, and at the same time realizing what you wish to promote. And maintain a breath attention on that quality of space, not a transient thought or an idea, but the quality of space of that which you wish to promote, which is the sensation in its most subtle form, which is its thought in its most subtle form. Not looking for right or wrong, but rather what is the natural path of progression for your personal development. Accepting that your entire body's worth of experience is involved within that achievement of outcome. So that which is still there, which is no longer needed, is because of a subconscious holding or unfinished emotional ties. Meditation has always been understood as a quickening of these relationships so that we can see them through till their end. Meditation is teaching us how to relax and bring our attention to the place which we wish to cultivate. Become very familiar with the space of the mind through the rhythms of your breathing. So for a moment, increase the depth of inhale-exhale and begin to notice a magnetism which exists, one that you can see, one that you can also feel. And as you settle into an experience of mind within that magnetism, place a concentration there. Into the space itself. Just there in front of you. Soft with your inner gaze, but strong with its ability to maintain a constant connection to the quality of space which is void of thought. all of your senses begin to detect a sensation, a quality of space which is beyond all that you feel. It encompasses all that you experience, unbiased. This quality of space does not identify as good or bad, pleasurable or unpleasant, but rather just sees and experiences the way that things are. A quality of space that consists of such a fine sensation that it dissolves the bias. It dissolves the want and the need. This subtlety is what promotes transcendence. This dynamic stillness supplies the direction. An undefinable quality of experience that one innately understands and knows as being the truth. And we apply the body's relaxation, the breath's attention, and the mind's concentration towards the enhancement and clear connection to that subtle direction. Understanding and then ultimately realizing that it is for you. It is that unshaking understanding which provides the ease and fluidity in all other aspects of one's experience, mentally, energetically, and physically. Keeping the eyes closed, let's bring full deep breaths into the body. Keeping the eyes closed, bring your gaze into the space just there in front of you. And with a soft intensity, maintain the integrity of your gaze. Keeping the eyes closed, soften the gaze. And we can gently, slowly allow the eyes to open. Any questions? So not rushing, just taking time. Allow your eyes to come to focus, straightening the legs, but just being present, being relaxed, and allow this contemplation to continue. Just simply watching. As your thoughts rise and fall with the interaction of your mind and body. And how all of this which you're experiencing is kept alive and inspired through the rhythms of your breath. Simplifying it to the point where everything can be found, resolved, and developed through that which you already have. You've already been given everything that you need. You've already been given everything that you need to evolve, to transcend, and to reach incredible heights, both inwardly and outwardly. to achieve those heights is based upon and determined through whether or not you truly want that. So what is it that one truly wants? And we want to narrow that scope of what one truly wishes to receive from their experience of life to a single moment in time. And get to know it. Because as we all know, that one moment leads to the next. So if we can narrow it down to a single moment, this moment is continuously occurring. So we become absolutely present and gain the ability to harness that and then apply it. Developing this ability is simultaneously letting go of that which we do not want for sure. That which is no longer needed, that which is expired, but also that which is in the form of illusion, figment of one's imagination, superimposed by influencers, which have taken you away from that which you are truly needing from the experience that you're having now. Becoming so conscious of this moment and the experience which is being had that it acts as a force field, a reinforcement, a bubble, which ensures that there is no longer a distraction or a pushing you off of that which you find is truly yours to have. And we want to make sense of this. We want to make sense of this for many reasons. But potentially the most important is that the more conflicting agendas that one has from the inside, that confliction will begin to ripple towards the outside. In that experience of conflict on the outside directly challenges one's own equanimity, peace, and continuity, which is the prized ingredient for a deepening and developing meditation practice. We must get past the ideas that the experiences which come from your mind are random. We must get past that. And we must establish ourselves again and again until fully understood and realized that we are fully the decision maker within that reality of mind. But what is also understood is that the mind experiencing the mind coaching and reframing the mind is actually very challenging, exhausting. And we must recognize the frivolous loop which we enter into. So therefore, we must go beyond the experience of mind to gain the insight. What is beyond mind? We must go to the container which the mind lives in, which is our body. We must connect to the inspiration which keeps our mind alive, which is our breath. So that then we can begin to direct the conscious piece of who you are to pierce the veil which makes up the strength and conviction of your mind being the absolute truth, the absolute governance over that which you feel is important. What we pierce the veil into is that subtle dimension of dynamic stillness. This concept of dynamic stillness is one that is maturing in understanding because of its very nature. The subtlety which it is working on is complex and simple. The subtlety of its nature is so immense in its ability that we could potentially be exploring it forever without truly understanding fully what it is. But what is able to be recognized by a maturing individual who is engaging within self-inquiry is the validity which exists within that subtlety. The innate knowing that there is something which is there, a beacon, a calling. And that is enough to begin to make movement towards the deepening of the understanding and how to apply that to experience of mind. So we want to use our meditation time as a passive engagement with that intelligence, with the earnestness which is already built inside of you. It's already designed, encoded within this molecular structure, cellular structure, so on. What do you wish to achieve? It's already there. So it's now quieting down the pleading so that we can just simply act in accordance to that which is aligned with you achieving. So it's acting in accordance to the alignment. This is why meditation becomes incredibly thirst quenching. Is that the beginning stages of this conscious development towards quieting down all of these bias towards a direction which is no longer needed within the mind can be quite challenging. You feel like potentially no way. So our only solace is found sometimes at the beginning within this quiet place of seated meditation. And one could stay in that meditative quality for as long as one needs. There's nothing wrong with it. It's actually beneficial. It's encouraged multiple times a day to keep one on track. And just simply getting from wake up time to go to sleep time, that's all we have to commit to. One full day at a time. And then if one is able to sleep with that intention, you just have to tell yourself that I am letting go of all that is holding me, all that is challenging me, and throughout my sleep I am supporting that which is for me, that which is pushing me forward on my path. And something that simple. So evening time is now taken care of. So it's the consistency that we need. And this is not made up. This is based upon your own structure. In order to walk down that hallway, there's only a limited amount of ways that you could take to go down the hallway. And in order to walk down the hallway, ultimately you must put one foot in front of the other. There's no other way to do it. And that's consistent. You always put one foot in front of the other to go from point A to point B. But that consistency exists within all things. Same everywhere. So to begin to recognize that as a contemplation, each time we dip into that negative bias which pulls us away from this alignment of achieving that which we know is the direction, it's always the same, with slight variances. So to understand that is then to do the opposite. But that which is applied and realized as the pathway towards that which is no longer needed has the exact same steps towards that which you wish to promote. So then how do you set your eyes throughout the day to promote that? How do you set your physical posture, your breathing rhythms, your habitual tasks, all in support of that one thing? Not the big, ultimate one thing, but just that one thing which is going to take you from morning to night, the time you wake up until the time you go to sleep. Realizing that not everything which we see within the mind's eye is for us. Because as you know, you have an incredible amount of input coming towards you. But rather that which is for you and that which is your true desire is often found within the most quiet of quiet places. It is the constant. There is no way of exhausting that. Which can fuel and replenish an individual in any task that they're engaged with, as they're sorting out themselves in relation to their own environment. So whether we fully cognitively realize it or not, you are in full relationship with your environment, and you are an active participant within that. And your relationship with your environment is guiding and directing. It's not what you say. It's not necessarily even how you say it. It's the quality of space that you're in when you say what you say, how you say it, and how you say it. It's that quality of space, unbiased, not looking at positive, negative, right or wrong, just is. And that can be one of the most powerful tools that we give ourselves, is this taking the time to recognize our contribution to that relationship. And then how we can turn up the excitement levels if needed. Turn down the excitement levels if needed. Always having access to exactly what we need when we need it, because there's nothing obstructing that any longer. And yes, we are talking about meditation, the ability to become quiet and transcend to a higher form of mind and beyond. But at the same time, we're talking about every moment in one's life and all relationships which exist within those moments. Keeping ourselves open to express it. So it's not suppression, it's expression. Clean expression. Meaning, authentically, our human experience is made up of emotions. So if that's true, express all emotions clearly and cleanly. And as you get to a high level of that, expressing this emotion in such a way that it is not directed to any one person, place, or thing. It's contained as a tool of expressive experience until it runs its course. Likewise with thought. So thought which is attached to a bias towards a particular direction, especially those which are no longer conducive, are always connected to a person, place, or thing. An experience from the past. So we have to take away that which is plugging into those people, places, and things, because it maintains an electric charge. Have you ever felt that? Like you all of a sudden think about someone and then the phone rings. Or you think about somebody and then later on you have a conversation with them and they were thinking about you too. So these are just simple hints as to the connectivity which exists within your environment. There's no getting away of the reality that there is this interconnectivity. And that your thoughts and your mental experience are as real as your external experience. It's just seen and felt from a different perspective. And that's okay. Because you are a highly intelligent individual. Like, just to make it from your house to this space, you must have a heightened level of intelligence. And I'm not saying it to be funny. I mean, how many obstacles would you say exist between where you live and this place? How many choices do you have of alternate routes or other tasks that you could do in order, instead of experiencing this meditation in this space? Do you understand what I'm saying? So the intelligence is not an issue. The want is maybe the issue. But oftentimes if want is the issue, it's because of a fear. It's because of a feeling of an inadequacy or inability or helplessness that one has in relation to a pathway which has been expressing itself for so long in the exact same way that it becomes so second nature that it feels like us. It feels like the authentic you. Even though it's yelling or fighting or undermining the very existence of your life. To recognize that in its strength and power, not as a positive or a negative, but just simply as is, and take that exact level of tenacity and realize that it also exists in the undeveloped pathway towards that which you wish to achieve authentically, truly, without any noise or suggestion, no matter how positive and good that suggestion is, but rather it comes from the deepest place inside and is connected to the most subtle places outside. And then as you strengthen that relationship and connectivity, all that was, which is no longer needed, will just simply prune itself. That's what our brain does, is it naturally prunes what it is not using. It can come back like this very quickly. So if this quality, which is inhibiting you from deepening your meditation or living your life, is present, the only reason why it is there is because you're working it that well. You're doing that good of a job with it to keep it alive. If it's time to begin to work on letting that go, then the time is now, as I say. And we've just given many examples as to how to use exactly what you've been given already. No need to go outside to anywhere else, just simply inside and do that good work. As you develop with it, listening to that which no longer has any sound. That's what you're listening for. Does that make sense? Listening to that which no longer has a sound, so there's no dialogue left. Just a simple knowing that this is the right way. That's it. A simple knowing that this is the right way. And as you strengthen that knowing, you will be confronted with choice. And you just simply make the right choice in relation to that alignment which you're strengthening. That subtlety which exists so dynamic within that space which you can't even put words on. That's it. Connecting, aligning, ensuring that you're making these choices that is maintaining alignment. Finished. If this does not occur, it is simply because you're choosing not to. It is simply that. Any questions? Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste. So recognize yourself tonight. When you go home, does the alignment say go to bed? And do you say, not yet? Does the alignment say, in the morning, I don't feel like coffee, I'm going to go for a run? And do you follow that? Does the alignment say, I got to get to the studio as soon as possible? And we want to be able to say yes every time. But what we also know is that gratification loop is not as strong when we say yes to the alignment. Instead of instant gratification, instead we got to go, right? That's the first byproduct every single time. And then this funny sensation, this feeling, this dialogue, this mind that then convinces you that you should just do it one more time. And then we're in the loop of one more time. Again, and again, and again. So recognize that again. This is all human behavior, human tendencies, which are built and expressed and sustained from a human individual being. Enjoy. Follow your alignment. Here we go. You know it. You know this space that I'm talking about.